That's what I be doing. No, I didn't. Y'all said that.
From London to the Bay. It's hammer, gold hammer, every hammer, dirty hammer. And the rest is on its way to justice.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
No, it's not you.
It's definitely not you by no means.
She said, "Where's that?"
We can get everything in the show all set up perfectly. He be like, but I'm not comfortable. As soon as he do it, they be like,
Hey,
Happy Wednesday.
I gotta be
I'm
comfortable.
over you. I'm over you right now.
Do you hear now?
No, I don't care now.
All right.
Happy Wednesday. And we thank everybody for tuning in. Today, we're kind of going back to the same direction we went when we first came in October. And we're going to have a very serious, but also very informative conversation.
What, man?
Because I'm scared you're going to make it hum again.
Hey, listen. Technical difficulties, America, but we getting through it.
You know, when you live, you get live issues. We would have, erased and re-recorded if this was normal, but it's live, so you get what you get. They always touch stuff. However, tonight, we're going to have a very real and a very serious conversation. We're going to talk to two breast cancer survivors, and we're going to not only learn about their journeys, but as friends and families, or people who just have to watch and look out for different things, what is it that we need to do? How do we feel it, find it, and fight it? That is what tonight's theme is. We're going to let you all introduce yourselves.
You came with that with yourself? By yourself? Find it, feel it.
That's dope. It is dope.
I mean, bars, right?
Bars.
Was that on you? Was that on you, or was that a Google find?
So talented.
I wonder what put her in the center.
Crystal Ruffin.
And this is CTS.
Crystal, these are my co-hosts. Got it? I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. Y'all done?
Yeah.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. All right.
Can you hear me? You going loud and clear?
You are so clear with your humming self.
Your mic is lower. And
Hey, why don't point out the mic when we on live? Like, nobody likes the mic in their face.
Oh God! See, Trina, don't you start. Matter of fact, Trina, you start. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is.
We still in Fran's house, you know.
Get comfy.
My name is Trina Rab. Go to your shit.
That's it.
I gotta say, you're a survivor of how many years?
Tell us something about you, like your last 4 digits of your social.
Last 4 digits of her social.
Oh, my fault. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm a 2-time breast cancer survivor. So technically, I've only been cancer free for 1 year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jesus.
Okay, I'll go.
They already know us, but introduce ourselves.
I am Teosha Shin Harrison, and I am a breast cancer survivor. Last week, I was declared to be in remission. It's been 5 years since my diagnosis and my treatment.
Oh, it's good. Congratulations.
So you said last week you was declared in remission?
Yes.
So you rang the bell how long ago? Last week?
No.
Okay. I mean, that's what I'm asking the question. I don't really understand how that works. I wasn't trying to be funny.
So I went through treatment in 2018 and 2019. I finished and rang the bell in January of 2019.
And it's 2023, and they just now saying you're in remission.
Well, you have to be cancer-free for 5 years before you can technically be declared in remission.
Oh, that's good.
See, now I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I I thought once you rang the bell and they say no more treatment, we in there.
I did too. I found out.
I did too.
I found out.
Okay. Well, who wants to tell us first about, when you got the diagnosis and how it hit you, how it hit us? Because, I got information. I wasn't too happy about it.
I mean, you can.
So my original diagnosis was in October of 2014. I was actually 41 at the time. I was, back then everybody said, get your mammogram when you turn 40. So when I turned 40, I was like, oh, I need to go. Still hadn't gone. So then I was like, it's 41. I really need to go. But I was in the shower one day. Those of you that know me know I know my body very well.
Mm-hmm.
I know it very well.
There go that comfort level.
Oh, I'm just saying. But I discovered on my left breast that there was something hard. Like I could feel it felt like a stone, like a rock. So I said, oh, now I definitely got to go. So I went and they give you this thing. They said, well, we want to do some more research. We're going to call you back. And it happened to be a friend of mine that was at the desk that day. And so she was like, okay, they'll call you. And in her head, she told me when I came back, she already knew when I left that I had it, because they know when you get a call back, 9 times out of 10, it is cancer. So they called me back. I was on my way to work. I remember it very vividly. I was still at Blue Cross. I was on my way to work. And she called and she said, you have ductal carcinoma in situ. And I'm thinking, what is that?
Right.
So ductal means it was in my milk ducts. And then in situ just meant it was confined to one area. So it was considered stage 0. So I went through my journey of, going to see a doctor and talking to him about, the options. I had already known immediately when I discovered I had breast cancer, I already knew I wanted to do a double mastectomy, even though it was only in one. I had already made that up in my mind before I even went, but he still wanted me to try to do a lumpectomy where he could just take the cancer out, me keep both breasts. One would have just been a little smaller than the other, but technically they're already smaller. One is already smaller than the other anyway. But it didn't work. He said, it's not enough. I'm going to have to take the whole thing. So I said, take both of them. And that was basically the end of that one. I didn't have to have any chemo, no radiation, no nothing. It was done. They didn't give me any pills, follow up, none of that. The only part about that I hated was those drains. I hate those drains. But anyway, and then, we went through the COVID. When I had my first shot, I found I have implants.
Wait.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
2014, we got diagnosed.
Yes.
And then we all the way to 2020 when we got COVID.
Yes. We're 2021 now.
2021.
Yes.
Okay.
So I took my first shot, and then I felt that same hard thing on top of my implant. It wasn't because, my breasts are gone. So it was on top of my implant. And I said, maybe that's just scar tissue, something, but I'm going to go get it checked out anyway. So I went and got it checked out. This time it was stage 2. They told me that it latches onto my estrogen. So it's an estrogen receptor. So that is a whole nother ball game.
Right.
Because, these hot flashes. I would love to have some estrogen, but I really can't. So this was stage 2. So I did have to do chemo and radiation. I had to do more surgery, chemo and radiation this time. And then, I was done with radiation at the beginning of this year.
Wow.
And then talk about how after you have the double mastectomy, they tell you that you don't have to have any more mammograms.
Yes.
Because you don't have breasts.
Yes. That is exactly what they told me. I did not have to have any more mammograms. Now I have mammograms. They see me every 6 months, actually. But they have to do a different type of mammogram.
Right.
Yeah. But, they did tell me that.
So they don't know what they're talking about. That's gonna miss what I got for that last part of that story.
Say that.
No, I mean, to tell me I don't need them no more, and then clearly I do because I found them again. Y'all know what they're talking about.
Right.
They give you a generalization, but that's rough that they.
I mean, that's like saying take 2 and call me in the morning. Let's see if that works. I'm not good at philosophy.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad you rang that bell. You're here to share this story.
I'm glad you rang that bell as well.
What are the moment that you hear it? What are those initial emotions?
Yeah, why did it say someone couldn't tell?
That's not what we asked her. This is say that for like.
I think initially for me, it was a little bit of shock, and then I went into I can kill this. I mean, this is nothing for me. Like, I'm gonna get through this. You know, my support team is huge. I had a girlfriend that just went through it, and I was there for her. Like, I was sitting over there every day, you know, helping her walk around, helping her, you know, change her bandages and do her, you know, drains and everything.
Being a friend.
Yeah. So it's almost like I went, and she had the exact same diagnosis the first time. She had the stage 0, but not unfortunately, she's fine.
Well, I'm sorry. You said first time. First time is it in your situation, or she had it twice as well?
No, she had the same diagnosis I had the first time, stage 0. But she had lymph nodes taken out. I didn't have to have any lymph nodes taken out. Having lymph nodes taken out is a whole different ball game. She now has lymphedema. Her arms swell up. She's, full of water all the time. She has to sleep on machines. She's in pain all the time. So, everybody's journey is completely different. So I'll let Teosha tell her journey, because hers was way different.
I heard you had a descriptive word about yours. Please don't use that word.
What's my descriptive word?
When we were downtown last year at the lighting up of the thing, and you told me that if you had known what you were going to go through, you would have rather, not gone through it.
Please say your story. No, please say your story.
Let's tell the story.
Okay. Well,
She gonna say it.
She won't have no choice.
I don't even remember. But, right. That's also something that happens. You get cancer from. I still claim that. But anyway.
See, that's why I forget a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that happened before 2014. The diagnosis. So
I was shocked that she was like, "See,
you can't say anything because we had cancer."
you can keep telling yourself that.
Trump card.
So anyway, I considered myself to be a cancer advocate before a patient, because I had a dear friend who battled cancer for 10 years. She was first diagnosed at the age of 28. And at first, she opted for a mastectomy on just the affected breast, because she didn't want to go through chemo. She didn't want to lose her hair. So she just said cut it off so that she could return to life as normal. And when she went to have that breast reconstructed, she found cancer on the other side. So then she had to go through treatment. And she fought for, like I said, about 10 years, and she passed away at the age of 38. So at that time, I had actually had a breast reduction, and I decided to start having mammograms just from my history of having like large breasts and knowing what I knew walking with my friend who passed away. And I was, everything was fine. They were normal. In fact, the mammogram bus that came to Blue Cross on a regular basis was where I had my first mammogram. So fast forward to 2018, I had gone to see the doctor for swimmer's ear. And I had my breast reduction in 2016. So I'm laying there talking to her about this pain in my ear, and I noticed a knot. Now, mind you, I'd had my mammogram that year, like in January, and this was the summer. And I just assumed, for whatever reason, that the knot was scar tissue from my previous surgery. Oh, that's my mom calling. So I asked her what she thought about the knot, right? And I was like, this is scar tissue, right? She was like, I don't think so. So I think you need to go and get that checked. So I went for an ultrasound and a biopsy on it. And at the time, I didn't know that, one led to the other, which meant that 9 times out of 10 you had cancer. But I'm looking at the text like, what you think? They're like, oh, the doctor lets
they
you know.
Never tell you.
Right,
it's like,
right.
No.
But
and
then after you get your diagnosis, they're like, oh, yeah, we knew. So I just kept saying to myself at every hand, and we had another friend who also was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she shared her journey. and knew about her. I knew about her treatment plan and her reconstruction. So in my mind, I was like, if it's cancer, I'm gonna just tell them to cut it off so I can go on about my life. Because ain't nobody got time for this. So I got the call at work at Blue Cross, and I just remember that day, like my boss happened to be sitting in the office with me, and I really didn't like her that much at the time, but like it just so happened that God had her there because she was and is a spiritual woman, and she, for whatever reason, was there and shared that moment with me. And I don't know how, the rest of the day was just a blur, but I was angry. I was like, why me? I didn't want to go through treatment. So I made up in my mind. I went in, I met with the oncologists and the surgeons. I said, listen, because my diagnosis was stage 1A progesterone positive breast cancer. I really didn't know what all of that meant. Right. But it wasn't estrogen positive, and it wasn't another common breast cancer is triple negative when it's not progesterone or estrogen or I forgot what's the that we have testosterone. Mm-hmm. So anyway, they said, well, since it's stage 1, you can have a lumpectomy. I didn't want that. But the other thing about my cancer is that it had the propensity to spread quickly throughout my body. So it was aggressive. Like, it was good that I caught it when I did, but it was spreading. So that meant that I had to go through chemo and start treatment immediately. And I had to go through an aggressive type of chemo to attack the tumor. So I didn't like that information, but I said, listen, we're just going to cut them off. Even though I still have to go through chemo, I want to cut them off because I wish to never go through this and do this again. And they just kind of looked at me like, you want to get a second opinion? No, I don't. And there was no one in Columbia who really specialized in that type of surgery. So I traveled to Mount Pleasant to meet with a plastic surgeon who did natural breast reconstruction. And so after 8 rounds of chemo, I rang the bell on January 25th, 2019, 3 days before my 44th birthday. And then on February 28th, I was going in for the double mastectomy and the breast reconstruction at the same time. I spent 5 days in the hospital in Mount Pleasant. And that was the most difficult surgery I ever had in my life. Mm. But here I am today.
Thank God.
I wish I would have known that. See, I didn't even know that part of your story. When they went through that, she did that too. And I hadn't known anybody that did it that way, because mine was everybody I knew did a mastectomy. Then you put the expanders in, you inflate them, you take them out, and you put. I didn't know anybody else for her to call because she was in so much pain. Oh. I didn't know anybody else for her.
And I learned that from our friend going through it. She was the one who told me. In fact, we had some of the same doctors. We had the same oncologists. And so I was like, I can get a tummy tuck? Sign me up. Like, that's the least I could get out of going through all of this. So.
We commend both of y'all for coming on here and being so candid about your story and everything. What we want to ask is, like, after the situation, how did it alter your life? What changes did you make? Like, did you stop eating certain things? Did you start drinking certain things or exercising more, whatever? Like, what can you do to try to...
Like, after your diagnosis, what was your day-to-day like?
I have water.
I have water as well. No one offered me a drink again.
Drink? What are you talking about? Everybody's on water.
These two pick up their drinks.
This is water.
But how did things change? Like,
so for me,
I mean, I want you to tell me your day-to-day life and your mental life. Did you have a different perspective on life? Like, did you live more?
So I had a different perspective on life, and I really, really wanted to be that person that Kenny wants me to be, just in case he's listening.
Shut up, to big bro Ken.
Kenny's like, he's a vegan. He believes that everything can be
healed through food.
Right. Yeah.
Natural food.
Everything raw, natural.
Right.
He's pushing, all this stuff on me, and he's like, I just want you to get better. And he gets angry, but it's because he cares.
Right.
He's so angry because he's like, you know what to do, but you just won't do it. And I start off good. Like, I'll gung-ho and everything. And then, I was back, my hair was growing back, I had the natural, and I was like, man, I need to relax. Because I mean, you see now on the TV, they're trying to sue for relaxers and stop relaxers because it can contribute to cancer.
Wow.
I mean, it's a lot of food that, processed foods and stuff that we eat, all that contributes to cancer. And what happens is, and this is just through me doing research, we have like 30 trillion cells in our body.
Correct.
And some of them get damaged.
Correct.
And based on your lifestyle and or your DNA, those damaged cells can turn into cancer.
Correct.
So anything that you're doing, you can try to help yourself where those damaged cells won't turn into cancer, like not drinking so much, not using hair relaxers,
exercise a little bit.
Exercise. And I will
rest.
tell you, because I do exercise, I think it helped me more when I was going through chemo and when I was going through radiation. They say the more muscle you have on your body, it helps you heal faster. So while my journey was, I would say, not so bad, I mean, there were days where I didn't feel like eating, like we were talking about earlier, especially the days right after the chemo. It's almost like as soon as you start feeling better, it's time to go back to chemo. So you're kind of down the whole time. But, I had so much support around me, and, just talking to people that have gone through it, they were telling me ways to cope with it and things, ginger chews and chewing ice while I was getting my chemo to keep from getting mouth sores, because those mouth sores, you don't want nothing to eat. If you have just think about it, a mouth full of sores, you can't eat. You don't want to eat. So, yeah. But, so it did change in that aspect. And my life will never be the same. Right. It's like you get a new normal. This is a new normal now. I'm normal again, but it's not the way I was before.
Right. I talk about that because I would say I liked myself pre-cancer. I was working out. I had lost weight. My friends would say, "Oh, you Teosha 2.0." And I was like, "And is," but I felt at first angry, thinking that cancer stripped me of who I was because I felt like I was coming into my own. But then I had to realize that, just because that happened to me didn't mean that this version of myself now is a deficit or a diminished version of who I was before. I'm just different.
Right.
And I can be better now than I was before. So that's why I wear the shirt that I'm stronger than before, because, I would say dying would have been easier, but then our stories are still being written, or we're still here to talk about this and to help others who may be going through it now. My treatment, the chemo weeks were my good weeks, because the week after chemo, I couldn't get out of bed. So I would go to work the week of chemo, and the week after chemo, I couldn't be at work at all. I would not be able to move. I would just be in pain, and all I could do was just to stay in bed. But I allowed myself the grace to just be. So if I didn't feel like moving, I didn't. If I didn't feel like going somewhere, I didn't. If I wanted to eat something, I ate it. So I had people sitting with cheesecakes and Charleston, and one day I wanted soup from Olive Garden, and somebody delivered soup, because it strips you of your independence. It strips you of your normal lifestyle. I'm a mom of 3 boys, so I was having to go to basketball practices and band concerts, and I had to now depend on other people to take care of my kids and to do things for them that they depended on me for. So it was a lot, and it weighed heavily, on my mental well-being as well as my physical well-being. And it took a while to get back to a new normal and to accept myself for who I was after cancer.
How was that on your boys?
They were scared at first, but this wasn't our first experience as a family with cancer because my friend who passed away, her son was 10, so he's around the same age as my kids, and they were around her, but they also were able to support him as their cousin brother. So when they saw me get my diagnosis, they at first were scared, but then, we just went through it as a family. And sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of guilted them, like, I could be dead.
Pull that card on the boys.
Give me something to drink. I better be glad I'm still here. It works sometimes.
So what's like the biggest support you want from your family and friends when you're going through that, besides bring your Olive Garden soup, like,
Or cheesecake.
or because people like, you okay? I know you get tired of hearing that eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how can we support you without nagging you at the same time, or help take care of you without being a nag about it?
I think it's just different for each person, but if you are close to someone, that person needs, and so it's
But they
not
still
so
won't
much
tell
asking,
you.
but just doing. Like, Trina, her routine, so if you know that she's not going to ask, then you just do.
Yeah, I brought something covered also.
Those shots at you the whole time, okay?
You know it. You can't.
So naturally, after y'all become survivors, how important is it for y'all to become advocates of the situation and help other women out?
I mean, I can't do all of that.
Well, Tiosha is actually a great advocate. I'm more of it's so many of my friends that are advocates, like her and Seth, Arila. They like work with the hospitals, and I mean, they really do. Like, they do the thing. I'm kind of like the laid back. Y'all need me to help? Y'all do it.
Right.
I mean, I just because I have another disease as well. So a lot of times, because I'm younger, my doctors will ask me to talk to people about, the diseases I have and what I've been through to try to help them. And I don't have a problem with that. I love doing that, but I'm not the, go-getter.
Trina's a quiet warrior.
Yes, I'm a quiet warrior. So Tia should tell them about your advocacy.
Since she spoke up.
Right.
For the record, I cannot stand you. What was the question?
How do you advocate? Oh, sorry.
I really believe that the things that happen to us are not for us, but they are to encourage and to help others. Because the scripture that says we are overcomers by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony.
That sounds about right.
You got it.
That sounds about right.
Thank you.
I heard it before.
To paraphrase,
yes.
when you survive it, you can help others.
Exactly. Thank you.
So if I hit the lottery, that's for me to help others.
Yes, that is. That's
Starting right
here.
So I give you $2 so you win your own ticket.
Nah, hey, no disrespect, they could have been dead, bro. Give them their money. That's she said. She used the guilt. I'm putting the guilt back on, bro. I know if I hit to get something.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I didn't say
each
nothing.
one help one.
Each one help one.
Stronger than before.
Because everybody's story is always so different. That's one thing I have seen, that no two people's story is the same. But one part you hear is, like you say, your support system. Your family comes in, they go, did you eat? Did you do this? Did you do that? But you always hear different people need different things mentally, emotionally. Like, as your family, we gonna give you cheesecake. If you ask for it, once you have that diagnosis, everybody comes out the woodworks because we want you comfortably living. So all you have to do is fight what you're dealing with. But what can we do? Like, what becomes helpful and what becomes like, you just doing too much, leave me alone. Because I didn't know until Shaya, actually, that there are moments after chemo that you don't want to eat. You can't eat. But we're watching, the weight drop and so much change.
Shouts
We're
out
like,
to Shayla.
eat.
She rung the bell as well.
But it's a different ball game for you all.
No, I think she didn't. She ring the bell?
Yeah.
This morning?
No, she rung the bell.
The third one, right?
No, I think she completed it. I thought.
Yeah, she's done. She's
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 working
done.
on.
Yeah, she did good.
Shout out Team
She was strong. She had even on Facebook. She kept a positive attitude. I think she got a lot of love to keep her up, keep her morale up. So some people just get mortified and just give up, and it deteriorates within.
Yeah.
So it's an eternal disease, but at the same time, like the mental
is
mental.
heavy.
Yes.
It is, and no one prepared me for that aspect of going through this battle. I knew about support groups, and I'm a loner sometimes. Like, yeah, I'll come out and I'll talk and be in groups, but when you're at home by yourself or laying in the bed, like nobody prepared me for the dark places and the valley moments, like the why me and why am I going through this and when will my hair grow back, and we're not even going to talk about where your hair falls out from first because nobody even told me that part. Like I was in the Chick-fil-A bathroom and like, why didn't they clean this toilet? But I didn't know.
Oh.
But a lot of that we don't know. Right, I didn't either. Nobody told me. But what makes me think about it is you already had this diagnosis, so you've already been in the moment. You've been in the office. You've been in the car. You're having this moment. You're in the house. You're having these moments by yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't share every waking moment you feel. And then I'm gonna point at you. You would do it. He pick up the phone and be like, "Did you eat? Did you do this? Did you do that?" And then Herc is calling me going, "You want a sandwich? You all right? You all right?" This, and then I'm calling going, "How you feel?" And you're like, "That's a lie." But what I learned during this time was I absolutely, and I started to live my life this way. I don't do things I don't want to do, and if I didn't feel like talking to you that day, I didn't.
That's what I want to know. How does your mindset shift? That's exactly what I want to know. Like,
and it went for a lot of things, like the things that you should do, like the foods and how you should live a healthy lifestyle. But on this day, like I'm not feeling it. So I allowed myself the grace to just be. And sometimes you just have to sit in it so that you can get through it. So I just allowed myself to be. And if it meant I couldn't talk to my mom that day or the kid, or I just had to close out the world, then that's just what had to happen for me on that day, so that I could get through it and become better mentally as I was fighting physically. That's major for people pleasers, because people pleasers, even in that moment, will still try to make sure that everybody else is good. Mm-hmm. But in this moment, you have to take care of you.
So you don't consider yourself a people pleaser, do you? T-Ocean, not Trina. Not Trina.
T-Ocean is not a people pleaser.
No, shit, T-Ocean take care of her. Totally, T-Ocean. You see the bottom of that? Now I am.
She said she didn't want to talk to her mama, man.
I had to get to that, though. And I'm like, I love it. I had to get to that because for so much of my life, like once I became a mom, everything I did was for the kids. And then everything I did was for somebody else until I suffered. Like I had no contributing factors that I knew of to cause me to develop cancer. Like I don't have family history. I never smoked. Like I could not understand why I got cancer. So I realized that I had to start taking care of myself. And if that meant I had to, put somebody aside or put something aside. There are so many days when I'm like, oh, I know I need to go to the gym, or I need to do something for myself. Like I need a pedicure, but this one asking for gas money, or this one needs a ride to work, or this one got to go to school. Sometimes I just had to get to a point where I learned how to say no to everything else and yes to myself. That's major. That's some major advice. You see on the news where they talk about statistics and the basics about give me these bars. They give you all these details about it, but you never get to sit down with people and they say, listen, for a moment, I got to deal with me. And it's not wrong to do that. We've gotten so used to taking care of everybody else that in that moment, you got to take care of you, because it's worse on us when you're not here than it is with what's going on now. And that's how I would guilt them. Like, what y'all gonna do if I'm dead? Like, who gonna do this for you?
Why do you keep coming back to this? Like,
I keep it real with them.
I noticed.
I could be dead, but I mean, y'all keep on until you go run me in the ground, and then who gonna feed you? Who gonna drive you?
That's true.
But but it's a reality.
No, authenticity is healthy. Yeah. It is. When you have a clarity of what you want to do. Yes, no, up, down, left, right. It's very simple.
I'm giving them perspective.
Dating in simplicity.
I mean, it made them go to Charleston to get you a cheesecake, but I mean, it was good too.
That's great, man. That's great. Like, that's just,
Now I wanna
I'm
know
serious.
where
Like,
you
y'all
get
just
from.
strong.
Oh, shout out to Michelle Poe.
The girls are strong, man. That's just, I mean, I couldn't imagine. Honestly, I couldn't imagine. And then hearing y'all go through these things of what y'all going through, like, we think we tough because we got a sprung ankle, bro. Like,
But you know,
and
cancer-
pregnancy.
Don't even. Don't
I mean,
even
just
go there.
those two, like.
Don't.
Like, no, I'm just saying, like, those, they're superhumans. You superhumans.
Like,
I'm
I
giving
had
it
to
up for
learn
you.
this was worse than childbirth. And my third son, the epidural wore off. So that was like natural childbirth. But that
Wore off.
Wore off.
that stuff don't
Hit with no
die.
batting gloves. Ouch.
Like I could feel my legs. It was like a scene from the movies, like get it out. That's how his birth was. Anyway, I digress. But this reconstructive surgery was worse than that.
Oh wow!
So for anyone who said I could not walk upright. And how you talk about the drains, there were 4 drains attached to me. I was in the hospital for 5 days, had the drains attached. I had 3 revision surgeries after the initial one. So, but the team is amazing because anything that I feel is not right with my body, I can call them and they will see me right away. And that's the one thing about, for me, going through the journey is the medical support team made me feel like I was a partner with them. Even though they made the recommendation, I told them what was right for me. And I, went in with all of my questions. They were answered. But anytime I felt like something wasn't right, I was able to pick up the phone and talk to the nurse navigator or call and talk to my oncologist or call and talk to the plastic surgeon. They never left me. There was a point in time where I was referred to a doctor, a new doctor here in Columbia, and I knew he wasn't right. He wasn't right for me, and I felt like he didn't know what he was talking about. So I just went in and said, look, can you just write in this chart that you can't help me and that you recommend that I go back to my old one? And he did. So I think, too, it's important that, as Trina stated earlier, that you know your body. Right?
Yeah.
You know what your normal is.
And own your
If you
healing.
because some women have lumpy breasts, right? So if that's your normal, that's fine. But you have to spend enough time with your body to know what your normal is so that when you feel something that's not right, you are comfortable enough with your medical team to call them and say, this right here is not right.
Right.
So that they can get you seen and do what needs to be done right away. And just because they make a recommendation doesn't mean you have to follow it. Exactly. So pray, research, talk to your friends who've gone through the same things and decide and even talk to your family and decide what's right for you.
Okay. Oh, it's 2 sides to every coin. We're glad y'all survived. We're glad y'all here. Y'all had a great support system. When y'all start going through this and y'all had y'all personal experiences, do you ever get with somebody else who had similar experiences that just probably gave up, didn't survive, or just didn't have a proper support system? You didn't experience that? It was just...
Everybody I've encountered had a great support system. Everybody didn't survive.
Right.
But there were different stages of cancer. It was different. I had a girlfriend at Blue Cross that had stage 4, and she fought like hell. She had the red devil like 3 or 4 times, and it was spreading to her lungs and her back. And she was the most positive person you would ever meet in your entire life. But she fought hard. She did, but she lost the battle.
I lost another friend of breast cancer last year who was a long time cancer fighter. And she fought as long and hard as she could. And you wouldn't even know that she was still sick because she was so positive. She was still going to events and still advocating and talking about, going through cancer. But she passed away last February of 22.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
And you meet people, like I met this guy in my chemo, and you just have conversation. And he's like, how long are you going to be here? And I was like, how long are you going to be here? He's like, the rest of my life. Mine is not curable. I'm like, oh,
Wow.
sorry. You know,
I told my mom I did not want any cancer friends. When I went to chemo, I'm like, I'm not
You know, I like it's a university.
I mean, the cancer war, bro.
Like, no, it's just like when you graduate, like, never. And she's like, I ain't want to meet nobody in class. I want to get in, get
I
out.
want to take my lesson and go home.
Right.
Talk to me. I had my little laptop for work, or I was going to take a nap. But I made one cancer friend as I was going through my treatments, and we are still friends to this day.
That's good.
The plan.
That's
She
good.
had leukemia, but she got, and I don't want to say jealous, but she rang the bell like 2 months before I did. I was mad.
my friend gone.
Oh, how she ring the bell?
She graduated for me. Then you got your studies, and you be like, I'm going too.
I told you how to skip class that
Told you
day.
not to skip class.
Right, I stayed back. But,
Yo, okay,
You
y'all.
see so many walks and you see so many fundraisers and different things, but realistically, what real resources do you have available to you after your diagnosis?
Yeah, like that walk that just passed this weekend. I participate. I go out there, cheer people on. Cause like I got 2 survivors that are my aunt. But what is the real purpose of that walk? Just to say we support you, or do we raising money to help figure out how to get rid of breast cancer?
now that walk supported, all the proceeds from that walk supported the Prisma breast cancer unit, and so their organization, their patients, and all the work that they do in our local community. So I think that's what's great about the walk in Columbia.
Sweet.
It's not Susan G. Komen, and it's not the American Cancer Society. So the flip side of that is that it's what's the word? Not coincide. Well, yeah, it coincides. Like Atlanta's American Breast Cancer Walk was this past Saturday. So I used to participate in that, couldn't do both. So, and then there's a walk this Saturday in Charlotte. So those are the 2 major organizations that support breast cancer. But I know here locally, all of those funds support the local health organization.
So does it support just a hospital, or does it, like, if you need deductibles, copays, or the things that you all need directly while you're going through treatment, does it help you all directly?
You can say no. So
I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a lot like when I was going through. I didn't use Prisma. I was at Lexington, but we had things there. Like, of course, they have food and all that kind of stuff there for you, but they would bring the dogs around, and of course, Evan was there that day. They brought the dog. He was like, I don't do no dogs. You know me. I'm like, oh, babies. He like. She could tell that Edwin wasn't with dogs. He wasn't about the dogs. But they come around and bring bracelets. They give you blankets you can take home. It's just little things like wigs. That. They give wigs, things like that.
But I would, to be honest with you, right after my treatment, I was not working. It was during COVID, so I left Blue Cross, and I was working on my master's full time and helping my mom with my dad. But I was still considered a cancer patient, so still having to go see my plastic surgeon and see my oncologist. So being a patient at Lexington, I got connected to their social worker, and they actually put me on Medicaid, not just me, but also my kids. So then my treatments and my visits were free.
Look at God.
So I was not working.
Look at God. You can't have it all, Trina.
Yeah.
No, you want that Medicaid, I understand.
Right.
But I mean, that was a blessing at the time, during the pandemic. But that way, I was still able to be seen and get the treatment that I needed. But it also helped my children during that time too.
See, for us, when we see that you see these walks and these different things and people taking up this money, and in my head, it's helping with bills. It's helping with anything life that's happening. It's helping with deductibles. It's helping with so many different things. I mean, the dogs is cool. Okay. But you want to know what you can do to help you all, or help the person that your family is dealing with it. Like, what all do they need? Because insurance can't cover everything.
Right. And there are organizations that cover helping out with bills. Or I remember there were like people were sending me links of if I needed someone to come help clean my home while I was going through treatment.
Right, I've heard
But
that.
I just felt like this is too much red tape and I ain't nobody got time to fill out no forms. Like I just didn't feel like doing all of that. So
you got to go through a lot to get that help.
I felt that way.
Anything more than 10 questions is a lot.
But also like traveling out of town, going to Charleston for surgeries, there were houses that, and aid for our hotel stays, or not like a Ronald McDonald House, but like sort of bed and breakfasts for the cancer patients and their families. So there are so many programs out there that can help offset costs for things that our health insurance
Doesn't
won't
cover.
Mm-hmm.
If a person is recently diagnosed or battling right now, how do they access some of those resources where they do get to go and stay in one of those homes or get the help that they need, or even that level of asking a hospital about the social worker, because that's a big thing to have that insurance covered all the way around for you and your kids.
It is.
Right. I was given this great big old notebook from the nurse navigator. One thing about Lexington that I appreciated was that after I got the phone call, the nurse navigator who has been there and everyone knows, her name is Kelly, called, and she just held my hand every step of the way. Like every time I talked to a doctor, I talked to her. Like, what questions do you have?
You wasn't a number. You was a person.
Right. She gave me a notebook of resources.
Shout out to Nurse Kelly.
Yes, for everything.
Well, I mean, they got
that you
Medicaid.
could
They
think
knew you was
of.
gonna be able to pay. So
You gonna have to be Debbie Down? You gotta be down.
just saying.
Like
That was before that.
I know y'all told us it's a flip side to every story now, okay? Y'all told us like the moment you realized you had it. Could you tell us the moment that you realized you were relieved from it? Like, what was that feeling like?
I'm gonna be honest, like it still is in the back of my mind. If Trina had a double mastectomy and she still had a recurrence, even though I was told I'm in remission, I still think about the word recurrence, because I have had friends pass away who, have done and gone through the same journey. So I don't know that I will ever feel like I'm free from it. In fact, I'm not gonna lie, I joked to my family and my mom and my kids that, hey, I got one strike against me already, so.
But it's almost like when somebody
clean of guilt.
Yeah, you just like I don't know. You got that. That's why she wanted the big joker. Remember, she wanted the big joker. Where's that at? That's me.
Nobody offered it to me.
That is not why. It's not interesting, but
I'll have to concur with Teosha. It's always in the back of your mind, and every pain you get, every ache, you think, oh God, it's somewhere else. I know it. Like right now, I have this pain down here, and I'm trying to think, like, is it from the radiation? Because I'm reading now, it's saying that the after effects of the radiation can take months to years till because I have the radiation all on this side. So I'm like, oh God, I'm just going to get my oncologist to do an X-ray and see what it is. But
when my lab levels are off.
Oh yeah.
Right. I'm gonna bring you back in a couple of weeks. It's probably nothing, but it's just so I can sleep at night. There's a spot on my liver, he says, and I've had to have CAT scans for it. He's like, well, everybody has a spot on their liver, and we're just gonna watch it to make sure it doesn't grow. So just so I can sleep at night.
A little mole, anything.
Right.
It's just like, oh God.
It's like, for real, you got one strike against you. So I don't.
I got to.
So you really don't know what to, like, aside from knowing to check for lumps and if you feel the hardness, what else is there that you can check for, like frequent headaches or anything else that just might have triggered a pay attention to this? Because we do ignore a lot.
Yeah, what symptoms do you have?
Go outside and we talk about, and you hear this with Caucasians, but even for us, you get a mole or something like a sunspot. If it grows, like, you need to have that checked because that could be skin cancer.
Can't see too much of my black ass.
Pains.
Pains,
different pains.
And I'm not on naming names or anything, but I kind of had asked Ian about a friend who the last couple of times I hung out with her, she just didn't feel well.
Uh-huh.
And I said, Ian, is this something new? Does she always get like this?
Okay.
And he said, no, it's been recently. I said, I mean, you need to tell her that she needs to find out what's going on with her.
Exactly.
Oh, I did,
you know,
but they never
So
listened.
Ian got on my last nerve because Trina told him my stomach was hurting, right? My stomach's hurting because my job is stressing me out, right?
I gave you laxative that day. I remember
And
that. I remember that. That was on the Thursday, right? The Thursday, because
it was not.
Okay.
It was a weekend, but it was a time frame for, honest to God, for almost 3 to 4 weeks straight. I had stomach pains, but it is something to pay attention to because, like you talk about the relaxers and stuff. After I had my third child, I had to have a hysterectomy because there were 30 to 40 fibroids found.
Oh, wow.
And they said that my uterus was just naturally like the size of a 3-month pregnant woman because of it. So anytime I start feeling moments, like you said, what's going on with that? Because I don't have cycles and all that stuff like that no more.
Right.
So what's going on? And you check it. Thank God it wasn't nothing wrong except, piss poor eating habits. But I did have to slow down. And I did have to start listening to my body because I get in go mode and I don't
Got
pay
to listen to your
attention,
body. You have to.
that you can go, for me, I can go 10 to 12 hours and I ain't had nothing to eat yet. Like I'm
Yeah, I
in
could do
go
that.
mode.
And not just
Yeah, I'm not
cancer,
good.
not
I
just
could do that.
cancer though. You guys, I know y'all are getting up to my age soon. Y'all gonna be there.
They closer to
They close to me. Yeah.
No.
But
I
you're gonna find a lot of your friends passing away, and the last thing they said was, "I don't feel good. I'm gonna go lay down," and they never get back up. So when y'all know something is wrong, y'all gotta tell and go see
something. Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people don't trust doctors, and it's understood why.
How can I trust them when they tell me I have a mammogram?
You ain't got the money. Yeah.
Like, how can I trust
They
them?
always tell you stuff like that. It's up to you to know your body. Just like they tell you after hysterectomy, you only have to go every 2 years, is it? For people don't go like that. And then too, since COVID, people really ain't in the doctor like that because in your mind, you like, I don't want what you got. So,
But I'm agreeing with that.
Even though the recommendations might say mammogram at 40 or pap every 2 years, if you know your body and you're communicating with your healthcare professional, you can still go and it will be considered medically necessary.
But a lot of people don't know how to learn about it
that
though.
we're taking in, we need to go a lot
But see,
sooner than what the recommendations were saying.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not getting on my high horse. That was the purpose of the detox. I'm serious. That was the purpose of the detox. Where you go to?
Everybody go.
You remember when
You
we
gotta go
Charlotte?
meatless and you go vegetables and you go water.
Charlotte, that we started the next day.
Because people got to understand, like you have to give your body a clean slate to understand, like when things are off. And I'm not being vulgar here. I'm being honest. When you do that, you won't have a scent to your poop because you realize it's in the meat. And I ate meat this week and I could tell the difference. Like you wake up sluggish. So my whole thing is like, if you're not gonna go to a doctor and you are finding out how to heal certain things, like cleanse your thing.
Behind our names, they went to school. They got student loans for this.
That's true, but the same person who's delivering the medicine is delivering the poison in the
But
food.
Teosha's saying stop self-healing.
Yeah,
I know it's not self-healing.
They went to school for
you gonna heal your body
the same
naturally.
doctor they got a C
I
minus.
promise you.
He still passed.
Who, Dr. City?
Some of y'all got C.
No, I'm saying got a C minus. Like the doctor got a C minus, he still passed. I want the one to get A. That's why I don't.
Well,
I
then
don't-
do your research and read the reviews online
And what schools they went to and their
find
history.
which one is best for you.
You're right.
I agree. I'm just talking about in the
My doctor
mindset of
all the
learning your body. You have to start over to learn your body. That's all. That's all I'm
I
saying.
do agree with that. I agree. with
That's
that.
all I'm saying. So
I'm not negating
that's the
what you're
purpose of a
saying.
detox. Like a detox is necessary. Like after I eat sushi, I love sushi. The next day I'm detoxing,
But
even if
shouldn't
it's
you
for
be eating raw fish?
yeah.
So
But-
either y'all
But
medical teams tell y'all to use the plant that comes from the earth to help with your symptoms.
No.
That our providers, our doctors,
See what I mean?
they get paid from chemo.
You see what I mean?
Seriously?
The same people making the food, but
No,
it's making the medicine.
but you see how she said that? The people
Exactly.
get paid for chemo. They're not gonna tell me the cheaper way out.
And we do understand that
Right.
working for who we worked for all these years. We get that part. But I want to just circle back to Trina's point about taking care of yourself and knowing yourself. I had a college friend about almost a month ago, healthy, a fluent lawyer in our community, went out for a run, ran a job every day. Family.
40 years, so he was really young.
He was 47 years old. Came back home to walk his dog, collapsed at his mailbox, and passed away in front of his wife and his kids.
See, that's the kind of stuff. Like, what are we going to the jail? No, I'm being serious because you're doing all the self healing, you're doing all the proper stuff, and when it's your time, it's
not just
it's gone.
Physical, Ian. It's about maintaining our entire health,
mental,
our
spiritual,
whole, being whole in every aspect of our lives. Our mental.
Oh, me and JC cool.
Jesus Christ, I know him too.
About to call on when he said it.
But yes, taking care of ourselves from the top of our heads to the bottom of our feet, our whole mental and every aspect of our lives, making sure it is aligned, and any part that is not, to try to do a detox, whether it's physical or mental or spiritual, because we don't know. Like, it could be cancer, but it could be something else. And you know, there are silent killers out there for our community, our age group. But like you said, there are so many people in our age group right now that are just dying, you know, and people don't know why. Like, it could be a blood clot, or it could be stress related. It could be, you know, heart related. So we really have to take care of ourselves.
We had a classmate that literally had a baby, and then 3 days after she had her baby, she collapsed in the hallway and she died and left her kids. One of the reasons what made me go with the hysterectomy was I went to a funeral for another classmate who died of ovarian cancer. But it's a lot of stuff. We're young, and watch the kids in the audience crying about it. It makes you check on yourself. I am one that I'm gonna figure out what's wrong with me first before I go in. But the older we get, the more you realize it's important for us to get checked out. My best friend has really started to sit down and get in tune with herself, and she's been like, no, get up and check this. No, we need to really talk about these vitamins. No, we're not getting enough vitamin D. We are really, really talking through depression. Like, every day we spend 3 to 4 hours talking about depression, about anxiety. We talk through our health, our eating habits, decluttering, just anything that's around us that we're realizing, yo, something might not be right, that we think is completely normal. But that body is one.
Yes, absolutely.
These numbers are different. More people now have blood pressure than anything. Mine was up for a while, for a long while, especially.
Well, I mean, you know, we black in America. Your blood pressure gonna be up regardless.
Wait, but it's not right.
It's just the truth.
Not if you eat, like Herc said.
Oh, no. It has nothing to do with you eating. The way we get treated in society, you black.
Some of it is hereditary. Some of it is lifestyle. Stress can contribute to that. But
I love that you said that about the holistically healing. I really do believe that as a Black community, health-wise, we are hard-headed. I do believe that we are stubborn. We like to say, well, I eat, you know, I drink water. That's our number one thing. I sleep. And I, you know, like you said, I get up and work out, but we're not realizing that some of our day-to-day habits and activities are slowly killing us. And by the time we find out that we are battling, now we're like you said, it's in a higher stage of it, and we need better habits.
Right. I try to meditate. I do what I call hood yoga. Like, I will.
Tell me what that is. It might be helpful for me.
I will, you know, get into a stretch that feels good to me, and we'll hold it, and we'll just meditate or just practice my breathing to just try to center or focus on the day or the moment. To, you know, there are a lot of high stressors in my life.
And you call that hood yoga?
I do, because it doesn't necessarily follow a form or a fashion.
No, they yoga be like downward dog. She's be like, if it feels good,
but all it is a stretch that you find that feels
like
good.
A little upward cougar. It's what feels good to me. And the trainer said that was okay, so that's what I go with.
We're gonna learn what the upward cougar is. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but that's a reality.
Show.
We grew up hearing about meditating, and meditating is powerful.
Again, we commend y'all for y'all bravery and telling y'all story. I mean, just being just completely honest and clear on exactly what y'all went through. That's just for real survivors.
Conversations are major.
I have a different respect for a cancer survivor. I mean, I have nobody was that vivid on what was going on. Nobody gave that much detail. You know what I'm saying? So to sit here and hear that, I knew nothing about sores in mouth because of chemo. And I know people that went through chemo. You know what I'm saying? So like, to sit here and be sitting beside some, like, you get a different respect for a survivor. You know, period.
It
Any
also
survivor.
makes you realize when you call, and then we recently talked about someone who's recently battling, and you can see them online one way, but when you actually call and hear them, and you hear what they're really going through, you're realizing this is hard. And you know it is, but you hear it is. It's different. Like hearing your conversation, but there are people who don't have any condition that sit alone at night and have those dark moments and thoughts. Add that diagnosis on top of it. So if you're not dealing with, like you said, you were healthy, you were running and you were exercising, so your health helped you fight. You had a different world going on with your support system. So when the depression kicked in, it wasn't like life that you had already been depressed on top of that. But if you don't deal with who you are when you're in a good stance, when life hits, and this stuff don't discriminate. There's no like, I live bad and this happened to me. It doesn't discriminate. If you don't have yourself in order when something heavy does hit, it's harder.
And I would say that going through this helped prepare me for other battles that were to come.
Oh, wow.
Because right after, I overcame cancer, rang the bell, had my surgeries, then, I left a 22-year career. And then the pandemic hit and I didn't have a job. And then my dad got a terminal diagnosis. So I became part, his caretaker, helping my mom. And then he passed away. And then my marriage ended. So I just felt like cancer actually prepared me to walk through more journeys. And then it kind of empowered me because it was like, well, if cancer didn't kill me, then surely this won't. And if cancer didn't kill me with that, then surely this won't. So it helped me walk through more storms and overcome other battles.
Yeah, don't nobody walk away with anything else today. I think that's one they need to take away from. So often we take that as this is a punishment. It's not, because it built you. It's like training for stronger things. Don't quit. And many times people be like, I can't do this. It's better off if I don't live. Don't quit, because you don't know what comes next. And you can keep going through the next storms. That's major.
So would y'all tell me, going through your treatment, and Cindy, you said you take a laptop, not answer people. This is a music podcast.
He loves to not answer people.
Listen, you know me, if I don't feel like talking, I ain't picking up that phone. I just ain't gonna do it. But what were something that, inspiration that you would listen to music-wise, or look at? She couldn't wait on it. Look at it.
And you better know all these songs too. Trina be Trina when it comes to music.
What songs?
So I will tell you
it,
that I love Jesus Christ, God my Savior. I love him to death. But I'm not as spiritual as Teosha was. Look, I said was back in the day. I thought, but
are we going spiritual or religious? Because there's a difference.
She was both.
Look at her.
She was looking down on me at work like, oh, this heathen. She was the preacher's wife, child.
What are you doing right now?
I'm sorry. But I have my beautiful church support people. My Seth, TNG, Michelle, she took me to church. But every time I would go to chemo, Seth would send me scriptures and a song. But my favorite song was Never Lost by Taryn Wells. And Taryn Wells. And he sang with Elevation Church.
That's that judging face.
Right. That's
most of our churches.
Right.
Don't sound real Donnie McClurkin-ish to me, but carry on.
But I'm not going to sing. But he's basically saying,
what is he saying?
He's never lost a battle. It's called Never Lost.
Glory.
I want you to listen to it on the way home.
Okay, I will.
Teosha.
Well, since we went church.
No.
I'm just telling you.
Hey, you ain't sensed the sarcasm. Glory.
So what are you saying? Hum a little bit for her.
Listen, if you was listening to Missy, just say you was listening to Missy. You ain't got to go to the church.
Get your freak on. It's not a part of the gospel.
I said you don't have to go to church. If you wasn't listening,
Missy.
You're missing. I'm saying. She don't have to go glory. If she wasn't listening to that, That's not what she was listening to during her sessions. That's what I'm getting at.
And I wasn't listening to Missy as I hold my head down.
Oh,
But
ain't that wrong?
It was Mystic Coles. I'm just playing.
Make them say,
I'm about to say, everybody, she got her head down. Everybody else standing. She over here, that's the in the head.
Yes, it's not. My all-time favorite song, and it applied during that time. It applied to so many times, and even now. In fact, I was telling everybody I want y'all to play this at my funeral because I tell all my family and friends I don't want to bury any more people. I want to be the next one to check out. But anyway, my funeral is going to be like a party, so like balloons, and I'm gonna have a QR code for you to scan, and you're gonna get a personal message from me and a playlist. Okay, so it's gonna be like
It better be on there.
Okay,
What's the song?
Walter Hawkins, "Thank You, Lord," because it just applies to everything, and it goes so hard.
You just threw me for a loop. You was talking about peeing at 9 to 9, and you went to Walter Hawkins.
I mean, they're gonna play it too,
right?
I'm just
okay.
You just threw me for a loop, but hey, that's what it was.
Give you everything.
That's what it was. Go ahead and give me a bar from the Walter Hawkins.
Sure.
That's what you should have did.
No, don't.
I
don't know if you can do that.
You ain't gonna embarrass me on Beyonce's in the net. Hold on.
Oh, Beyonce's in the I don't know if you can do that. You know, we don't have the rights to the music. You gonna get us in trouble.
Jada's in the net, Jesus.
Oh Lord.
So y'all don't turn this to the little Bobby Johnson little.
We
The Bobby Jones, yeah. The Bobby Jones
Sunday morning.
You know, every October.
Never would have been.
Down there does that walk. She gotta look on her glasses. Gotta get a second thought. But you do see everybody's in pink, everybody's supporting, but conversations are not being had.
Put it to the mic. That's a jam for real. That's a jam. Look at it.
And that's the song y'all
It's
been
not
playing.
like the song. It's like it goes.
Oh, not the beat drop.
She jamming over here like.
So like Mary remade this, but this is the original.
So
Okay.
wherever you're going,
You can listen to it later.
Thank you. I will. I promise you I
we
will.
about to jam on Tiosha's playlist, right? We're gonna enjoy this one tonight. She is jamming. Listen, look at
Hey, that just got us 100 more views right there. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Right now, she is get it.
Okay, I'm done.
I appreciate you sharing that with me.
We appreciate y'all sharing everything with us.
Yes, we do.
Appreciate y'all
Yes, we
coming
do.
out. We
Yes.
appreciate the conversation. I was kind of worried, I won't lie, because that brought up a very hard season. And sometimes it can be an emotional conversation to have because it stirs up some different emotions. But I love the way that y'all cheerfully, jokingly, but seriously gave us like the real. It's not easy, but it is doable.
Very brave. Very brave.
It is something that women, men, and everyone indifferent, Black people, we got to stop just the anti-doctor life living. We got to stop not wanting to check ourselves. We got to stop thinking because we Black, we supposed to hurt.
And ginger ale doesn't fix anything. And Alka-Seltzer doesn't fix everything.
Ginger ale and a nap.
I mean, real ginger ale is good. That ginger and the real ginger in my health.
Listen, during COVID, I was taking ginger shots left and right. I had your chest burning. What Mario say?
Hey.
Whatever's in here right now, I cured it. But there are natural things that we can do better about. We've become entirely too processed. But above all things, get yourself checked out. Know yourself, know your body. And like we said from the beginning, feel it, find it, fight it. But do not give up or give in, because where you thinking your story ends could definitely be the beginning of the next season that could change multiple lives. We always say, God, your will, not ours. And that's a part of it. So just trust it.
And in the last words, anything I want to shout out before we click off?
We want to listen to a gospel song.
Before we go to gospel. Before we go to church here in the metro, Columbia, South Carolina. The 7-0 Benedict Tigers homecoming weekend. Meet me at the tailgate. Meet me at the lake house. We going down Columbia. We going to be on fire this weekend. CTS will be out there, but we will not be podcasting. We will be tripping. We will be eating. We will be drinking.
Will you let Trina talk?
I got one thing to say.
Trina will be there to eat. Trina will be there drinking. Sorry, go ahead.
Makes me sick.
Tamika Isaac Devine is running for South Carolina Senate
district seat 19. October the 24th, Tuesday. Please check if you're in the district so you can go vote. Tuesday, October 24th.
What's that name again?
Tamika Isaac Divine.
There
You
we
can
go.
go to Divine,
What's that date again?
DivineForSenate.com to see if you're in the district.
What's that date again? What's the date?
10/24.
Everybody.
What did you say?
Everybody.
Good luck to me. Good luck on that. Good luck on that.
Good luck to me.
Thank y'all again
Everybody.
for the stories,
Appreciate
for y'all coming, man.
Thank you for having me.
It hit though, man.
You get that
Knowing
big
y'all
joke
both
now.
20 plus years and
You get that big
knowing
joke.
what
She
y'all
tried to
went
speak
through
through the
and y'all still here, man. I
podcast.
love
You
it.
get
I'm
that
a
big
long
joke.
way from that little refrigerator on your desk.
Yo, you're man. I got a new. Thank y'all so much.
That's both of y'all there?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
new.
yeah.
Oh, look at that.
That was some breast cancer
You
event.
didn't know that we did that already.
No, I know that, but I didn't know it was both of them. I just knew like it was.
You
Straight.
taking a lot straight right now.
Huh? I didn't know. I'm looking in the camera. I didn't know. America, did you know? Did you know? I didn't know. I'm beat, man. I'm all over the place.
And that's what happens when you drink his water in the black cup.
Well,
Which one is that?
Keep going. We're going to play gospel and share our black cups. Okay?
thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Good night. I want to make sure now for now on